Hello, and welcome to my Let's Play of Castlevania 1 for the original NES system. I'll be your host, KirikiEyes227. Let's begin our journey. Castlevania is a very simple game. You're basically this guy called Simon Belmont, and your whole job is to kill Dracula, as it is your family's bloodline's destiny to do so. That is the plot of Castlevania. There really isn't much to go about, but then again, most games during the Nintendo era didn't really have much in terms of story. What is particularly interesting about the story, like thereof really, of Castlevania 1, is that at the very least, there's a generational type of thing going on. Now, I know it's pretty strange to start off with the story without even talking about what I'm doing here. Well, there really isn't much to talk about either. The first stage is rather simple. You're just traversing through the entrance of Count Dracula, and the only thing of real note is that if it's your first time playing this level, you're probably not going to make it, to be honest. It's pretty difficult. Then again, a lot of games during this time are particularly difficult. But you know, at least Castlevania had something very much different compared to the other games. What I really love about this game, and really any of the classic Castlevania games, is that there's a sort of, how do you say, it's very tight and precise. In fact, the creator himself, Toshi Akamatsu, wanted the game to be an extension of the player's limbs. And I'm telling you from experience here, the game itself is pretty good at doing that. If you want to get into the classic mainline Castlevania games, which there is a lot of, you can search that yourself, I think the first game would probably be the best one to do that. Because even though it's very stiff, it's very precise, once you actually get the feel for the game, it feels great. Now we're here at our first boss, which is just the giant bat. He's pretty easy. I recommend that you get the axe plus the level 2 throwing thing. I don't know what it's called, to be honest. And there you go. That's the end of the first level. Now we're on to the second stage. Anyways, continuing along with the gameplay itself, it's pretty amazing how tight and precise these games are. You have to realize that during this time too, a lot of NES games, if you have at least some amount of experience, are, you know, it's not exactly fair. Either the characters feel very wobbly, very floaty, very airy, or the stages themselves don't feel like they're planned out. Castlevania instead does indeed feel like the game developers themselves actually were able to create a game where things actually feel natural. And, you know, it feels good. It really does. Here's an interesting enemy here that I should mention. The infamous, or famous, depending on which circles you go by, Medusa heads. They are pretty tricky I just killed them. Well, actually, there's more coming up. They are pretty infamous for their up and down movements. But what I usually like to do is that I usually like to go back and then whip, or I like to time my whip precisely that is even to the character's ground floor. Another thing you have to take note about the Medusa heads is that it's really a good idea to not turn around. Because when you do, you basically allow the Medusa heads to pop up across the other screen. And when that happens, you might have two Medusa heads going at you from both directions. So it's highly recommended that you time yourself precisely to the ground floor of attacking the Medusa heads. Anyways, continuing along with the controls of this game, it's just phenomenal. It really is. Those older NES games don't feel planned out, and this game certainly does. Another interesting thing that I noticed, because I researched a bit about this game, at least towards whatever that was there, because there isn't really much to research about the first Castlevania game, is that it's particularly interesting that, you know, Simon Belmont has a whip for a weapon. Oh yeah, quick note here, if you do get hit by one of these things, you will die. Anyways, it's particularly interesting that his main weapon is a whip. A lot of characters during these old games, well, never mind, I guess I recorded myself dying. Just a fun note here, this is a post-commentary of Castlevania 1. This is not me actually playing in real time, as I find it to be much more easier for me to record the games themselves and then record my audio. And there you go, I died again. So anyways, as I was saying, it is particularly interesting that Simon uses a weapon, as most other characters during this time uses a sword or their fist or maybe a spear of whatnot. Simon instead chooses to use a whip. And you know what? It's pretty cool. If you think about it, whips are pretty versatile. It could literally be any weapon you want. Oh, you want to use it like a sword, kind of? Well, sure. Break it down in half. That didn't make sense. You get the point. The flexibility of the whip is very amusing. But however, there's a reason why Simon Belmont uses a whip. Going again with the creator of Castlevania 1, Hitoshi Akamatsu, was in fact a fan of Raiders of the Lost Ark and was influenced in a way to use to have Castlevania's main character, to use a whip, just like what was his name? Anyhow, the main character of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's been a while. I have not seen the film in many years. The guy from, you know, Star Wars, Han Solo, that actor. Anyways. And also the team at Konami during this time were also fans of westerns. Anyways, now we're here with the second boss, Medusa. She's actually very easy. It's recommended that you use a stopwatch, which can stop time itself for 5 seconds to beat her. I instead use a whip because she is not that difficult. So anyways, thank you for watching the first part of Castlevania 1.